Here today with our outstanding partners representing a whole of government approach at the local, county, and state level, who all dedicated investigators from their departments to join the FBI's Child Exploitation and Human Trafficking Task Force. We'll get into our prepared remarks regarding the successful surge operation we did last week, but before I get into those details, I'd like United States Attorney John Sarcone to discuss his office's unwavering commitment to ridding our communities of child sex abusers and prosecuting every one of the cases listed in the news release. United States Attorney Sarcone.
Thank you. Thank you, Craig. Well, if anybody was there at my swearing-in ceremony and had my remarks, this type of criminal activity was going to be a priority of my office to make sure that we are vigilant in charging these cases. The threshold level for me personally is zero tolerance for it. So I want to first of all thank FBI Special Agent Greg Tremaroli and his team for going out there and doing the hard work, which is dangerous work as well, and bringing 8 criminals to justice to our office where we are charging them, and they're coming from all different parts of the state. I think there's one in international over in London that's being charged as well. I'd also like to thank the Attorney General and the Director for leadership and spearheading this nationwide initiative. Proud to be a part of it. Proud to say that I have great team and led by my first Deputy Assistant Dan Hanlon, who's standing here with me. I'm also want to compliment all of the AUSAs that are in my office that have to prosecute these cases. You can imagine it's gut-wrenching to have to review the evidence and then also present it. So fortunately for us, the defendant who we captured, I think it was last Thursday, is a alleged member of this cult, this 716 cult, where in entrance to the cult, you have to have images of a child sexually mutilating themselves. It's absolutely horrific. Well, that individual has confessed. So we're hoping that we keep this pace and we start bringing them in. We don't have to wait 2 years to get all the evidence to convict, because we just need enough to make that arrest, and then we'll leave it up to them to decide whether they want to go through the whole system or confess to their crimes. So with that, I'd like to say thank you again to the FBI, and a great partnership with this U.S. Attorney's Office, and we're going to continue to do great things together. Thank you.
Thank you, United States Attorney Sarcone. I'm incredibly proud of the FBI Albany's work and Operation Restore Justice that occurred last week. Operation Restore Justice surged resources nationwide to arrest suspected child sex abuse offenders who prey on our most vulnerable. The full force of the entire FBI, leveraged throughout the entire country, led the successful operation, which coincided with Child Abuse Prevention Month. Nationwide, 205 predators were arrested for their despicable conduct. With 8 arrests in this district, I'm ecstatic to say FBI Albany was in the top 5 FBI field offices with the most federal arrests in the country. We also had 2 of our investigations make it into the national news release, which I'll detail here shortly. These 8 federal arrests from last week are significant, and our communities should be confident their FBI is unwavering and united in its fight to protect children and aggressively pursue those who prey on them. And we will not stop. The arrests announced yesterday by the United States Attorney's Office were a culmination of countless hours of coordination and dedication by some of the finest investigators supporting this mission. With that said, I felt strongly that our local, county, and state law enforcement partners should be recognized for their critical roles in supporting this operation. Make no mistake about it. These might be federal arrests, but not a single one of them would have happened without every agency represented here today. I want to take a moment to talk about the task force and the agencies representing them. The Child Exploitation and Human Trafficking Task Force is a partnership with 8 agencies represented with me today: Cohoes, Colony, Rotterdam, Saratoga Springs, and Waterville Police Departments, Saratoga County Sheriff's Office, and the New York State Police. This team works to aggressively investigate all threats of abuse and exploitation to children, not only from within our community, but also throughout the country and world. Each investigator on this task force is deputized as a task force officer, giving them the same authorities as an FBI special agent. These integrated and collaborative efforts allow us to extend our reach into communities, respond faster to threats, and ensure victims get the justice and support they need. Every one of these agencies with us here today is navigating challenging numbers, be it budget or staffing. Yet each agency committed and assigned their most valuable resource, their people, to this important task force. Their investigators are why our task force is so effective. These agency leaders send us their very best. I truly thank all of them individually and collectively for their continued trust and partnership in making this task force as impactful as it is. Before I turn this over to a few chiefs, I want to highlight a few details from the investigations their investigators assisted us with. Again, in 1 week, we arrested 8 predators. One of those predators, Stephen Campbell, was in Scotland. Another, Devin Ravine, was in California. While this task force is made up of local resources, their reach is clearly far beyond the capital region. We told you last week about the brave student who came forward after a school presentation. In another case, a concerned parent called our National Threat Operations Center, or NTOC, with a tip. When you call 1-800-CALL-FBI, it gets to the right place. Max Fishkind is behind bars today because the system worked. Your courage matters, and your call is important. And this task force stands ready to answer that call. Again, I'm unbelievably grateful to these leaders behind me for continuing to provide their most valuable resource, their people, to the FBI. And I want to stress, this isn't just about giving us their time. We recognize how difficult it is to be exposed to this heinous material day in and day out. Their dedication to the cause is invaluable, and we're so proud to have them with us. At this time, I'd like to invite a few chiefs up to speak about their decision to provide resources to this task force. Chief Tyler McIntosh with the Saratoga Springs Police Department. We'll have him start first.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, SSC Tremaroli, for the opportunity to speak today on behalf of the Saratoga Springs Police Department. Today, I just want to highlight the extraordinary partnership between the Saratoga Springs Police Department and the FBI's Child Exploitation Task Force. The collaboration that we have, it's more than just an alliance. It is a force multiplier in our fight to protect the most vulnerable members of our communities. These child predators, as we know, are not bound by jurisdictional lines, and it takes all of us working together to ensure the highest degree of protection of our children. I'm very proud of the outstanding work that our Saratoga Springs Police Department task force officers, and of course all the other task force officers on the Child Exploitation Task Force have put in and will continue to put in, and of course their unwavering dedication to protecting communities essentially around the United States. We look forward to continuing our exceptional partnership with the FBI and working together to ensure the highest degree of safety possible in our various communities around the country. So thank you. I'll turn it back over to SAC.
Thanks, Chief. We'll also have Chief Todd Walden with the Cohoes Police Department.
Thank you, Special Agent in Charge Craig Tremoroli. When we were presented with the opportunity to join this FBI task force, we did not hesitate. Last year, we had a child exploitation case, and we reached out to the FBI for assistance. And I'm happy to say that in that case, the offender received a sentence of 30 years handed down in federal court. That was the impetus, if you will, for us deciding maybe we should be a part of this, on a higher level. And that's what got us started with this task force. And I'd like to say that, the results have been just remarkable. Unfortunately, we see that there is an uptick in these kinds of cases, even in a small community such as Cohoes. And with that rise, we see that there are resources that we don't have on our own. And the use of the internet and social media has become very prevalent. We have had instances where we've had people travel from the southern part of the state or have claimed to be local and then turn out to be, many states away. And we couldn't get this mission done if it wasn't for the continued cooperation between both local, county, state, and federal authorities. Thank you.
All right, thank you to both of our chiefs. I want to thank, again, all of our partners here today. Before I open it up to questions, I just want to close by stressing a few important reminders. I can't stress enough how important it is for our parents and caregivers to stay engaged with their children's online and offline activities, recognize behavioral changes, and maintain open lines of communication. Warning signs include secrecy, withdrawal, inappropriate knowledge of sexual topics, or fearfulness around certain individuals. We understand these are difficult conversations, but they can truly make a huge difference. I also want to stress that prompt reporting is key to rescuing victims and building cases against offenders. If you see any type of this activity, please remember it is a crime, and we're here to help. Again, your courage matters, and your call is important to us. No matter how you decide to report this kind of activity, please involve law enforcement so we can work together to ensure justice is served. Nothing is more important to all of us here than keeping our community safe, especially from dangerous predators trying to harm our children. This concludes our prepared remarks, and we'll open it up for questions. Please let us know which agency the question is for.
Question for the U.S. Attorney.
Hi, can you just identify yourself and who you're with?
Anthony Gary. I'm a reporter with EAP. I'm hoping you can comment on this reported investigation into Letitia James.
I have nothing to comment on that.
Is it ongoing? Is it being handled by Maine Justice?
I only know what I read in the paper or what's been reported in the media. So whatever's been reported in the media, that's all I know.
I believe there was a statement from your office that sort of confirms it. Just hoping
I heard about the statement, and I called the reporter and told them that I'm not going to say you misquoted, but what was meant by that statement was whatever is reported in the media is all that my office is aware of. And so I stand by that statement.
So you don't want to confirm?
I'm confirming that everything I know about that matter, that I know from what's been reported in the media. That's what I'm confirming.
Do you have concerns about the documents as they've been reported?
I have not reviewed any of that. Again, my office is standing here ready to charge cases, and right now we are here, gathered here today because of one of the most horrific crimes that could take place on Earth. And we've now charged 208 nationwide, thanks to the leadership of Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel. I understand it. There's other newsworthy topics out there, but I really think today is the families of these victims deserve to have your full and undivided attention to this matter, and hopefully that's what's going to be the headline.
I have a question. Maybe this is for the FBI. I'm just wondering, out of the 115 that were rescued, were
Our 8 arrests that we did, about half of those were involving our investigators and predators traveling to law enforcement. The other half were victims, and we had different bystanders report those criminal activities. And so 4 of those, half of those, we received through law enforcement channels, victims, juveniles, who predators were trying to hurt and harm them, and law enforcement sprung into action, worked those cases vigorously, presented them to the United States Attorney's Office, and all of those were charged.
Can you describe the kind of, I guess, the crime against some of these victims?
I'm sorry, could you just state your name, please? And
I'm Brianna Safardi with CBS 6 News.
thank you.
Yep. The charges that were filed with the United States Attorney's Office were possession, enticement, coercion of child sexual abuse material. We have the 8 complaints that will be disseminated to you all, so you can review all of that was captured in the complaint affidavits.
Testament to one with Mutual 13. For the 8 people that were arrested in the Northern District, do you mean the capital region or just upstate New York?
As referenced in the prepared remarks, one of the subjects was in Scotland, one was in California. The criminal conduct was through the venue of the Northern District Attorney's Office. So the material in which either victim or subject came through this office, which gave the United States Attorney's Office venue to charge all of those cases. So we say the Capital District team, it's all represented behind me, but we're far and wide. This is why we say we have a countrywide and international impact, because one was international, one was on the other side of the country, and several were around the state.
Brianna Safardi again with CBS 6 News. I read that several law enforcement officials were arrested as part of this operation. What do you guys make of that, and what kind of challenges, does that bring, knowing that these are the folks that these victims go with?
Regardless of the predator, it's despicable conduct, regardless. To hear in outside of the FBI Albany office, you have folks that have trusted position, makes it even more worse. It's despicable conduct. We are all committed here as a team to vigorously pursue any allegation of this act, these actions, and work with our United States Attorney's Office to arrest them and let accountability and justice be served.
Jimmy from WNYC. This builds on what something the U.S. Attorney said. You mentioned and referenced the sort of the gang of child predators.
Mhm.
I'm wondering if any of the arrests in this operation dismantled the operations of that gang, or you just kind of pick off a few soldiers and sort of what the future, whether that's still an ongoing operation. It's active. It's the 764.
Mhm. As referenced in the national releases, every FBI office has investigations into this despicable conduct of these predators. We are highlighting here in FBI Albany one that was out in Delaware County in Walton, which had 764 ideology. That was referenced in the United States Attorney's Office, Northern District of New York's news release. So we aggressively, wherever these predators are, whatever they're doing, this task force, the men and women of law enforcement throughout the country are going to follow those facts, pursue it, identify them, locate them, arrest them, and hold them accountable.
I think what you're getting at is this an organized entity that we're now finding the leader? The answer is we don't know. I have no idea. What I have learned just recently is that there may be no leader. This is just some sick group of individuals that made this up like a game, but it's real, and the victims of this are all over the world. So it's tragic. We're here to put a stop to it every which way we can, and of course we need the help from the public. We need the public to really understand, especially with their children, what they're getting into. And I said this at a prior press conference. I intend, if I can, to bring charges against these internet companies, these service providers, that they're communicating with this. And I tell you what, if I was in private practice right now, I would be thinking about a big giant class action suit against all of them and representing all the victims, because that's how you get their attention when it's hitting them in the wallet, when their investors are saying, hey, our profits have gone down. How come? Well, we had to spend billions of dollars selling lawsuits. I mean, I sued the biggest oil company in the world for contaminating groundwater. And, you know, you keep doing that, and eventually they get it right.
Just to follow up, you said that gentleman, or excuse me, that individual had pleaded guilty?
No, he didn't plead guilty. He confessed.
Oh, he confessed. Are you gaining information from that relationship and from this charge that's going to yield, you hope, hopefully, for the results?
Right now, I can't comment on that.
Okay. And then, is there an update on kind of your efforts to go after either, and I want to clarify, is it telecom providers like AT&T, Verizon? Is it platforms like Meta, like Instagram, etc.? Is it
All of
internet
them.
service providers?
All of them.
Okay. Any update on from where we?
I announced that I'm planning to do it, but that's going to take some time. It's going to take some research. It's going to take some investigation, and it could hopefully lead to perhaps a meeting, a conversation to say, hey, you know, you're going to take care of this. You're going to figure out how to prevent it, because if you don't, this is what we're going to do.
Last question, guys. News 10, just an update on Ravine. Has he been extradited? Do you have a date yet?
Dan?
Hasn't been extradited yet.
Okay.
We're at the marshal first.
Okay, yes. The U.S. Marshal Service is responsible for transporting defendants when they're not in this jurisdiction. So that would be a question I would urge you to ask the U.S. Marshal Service, because we want them back here as soon as possible.
And my last question is for the FBI. Just, you know, saying you need the public's help, the public's assistance. Any message to a victim, a child who might be watching this, a parent, as you said, who might be concerned? You know, who should they call? Who do they get in contact with? What's that information that they need to know?
We're looking for our youth to go to a trusted individual. Sometimes that's their parent. Sometimes that's their school teacher. Sometimes it's their coach. Anybody to tell them what's going on with them, so that trusted individual can call law enforcement, and this collective team behind us can get to work, identify, locate, arrest, and send that information to the United States Attorney's Office to charge those cases and hold them accountable and let justice be served. Listen, I thank you all for coming and getting this message out to the community. This is an important topic. We need more to come forward so we can put more predators behind bars. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.